Okay, so I want to talk about land for a moment, and that is there is a lot of land for sale today. The question is, how do you know if it's a good deal? After all, it's dirt, right? I mean, dirt looks like dirt. Maybe there's trees, maybe there's grass, maybe there's shrubs, maybe there's both, maybe there's a sidewalk. Who knows, right? At the end of the day, it's just dirt. How do you know? So there's a couple of questions that go into this to figure it out. First of all, what is the best use for this? Is it a place that's the best use for housing? And if there is housing, is it single family? Is it multifamily? Okay. Or is it condos, townhouses, right? What if it's not housing? What if it's commercial? Okay. Then is it like office building? Is it a mixed use type setup? Is it industrial, right? You got to figure out what is the best case use for this land. What if it's build nothing? What if it's recreational land? Okay, I've seen places where let's buy us because we can go hunting, or here's a place to run four wheelers. Or I've seen like in Florida some of these swamps where they'll go mudding out there. Okay, so understanding the best case use is the first thing because it helps determine which way am I going to go with it, how am I going to value it. Valuing a piece of land for recreational use is quite different from valuing a piece of land for new construction for a home or a multifamily. So here's the thing. Let's say once you sort it out, oh, this is something that can hold a structure. Well, then how do you determine its worth? Well, remember, single family homes versus 5+ unit multifamily versus commercial are valued differently. Okay, you've got to look at the construction costs and then the valuation. And I always tell people reverse engineer it. Okay, if I'm dealing with commercial and I'm gonna have a building with a bunch of triple net lease units rented out, that valuation process is different from, say, a 10 unit multifamily, which is different from, say, a quadruplex multifamily, which is closer to, but not exactly the same, but close to single family. Okay. There's different valuations. And I'm going to give you the most basic of examples. Let's say I have a lot and it's in a neighborhood of $250,000 homes. Those $250,000 homes are 1,500 square feet. I can tell you right now that is an automatic money loser where I live because in our market, which is the Atlanta market, to build a 1,500 square foot home could easily exceed $225,000 in today's dollars. And it is, according to my accountant, November of 2025. Now, next year, might be better, might be worse, who knows? But we got to look at that and go, okay, if it cost me 225 to build, it's only worth 250. I still haven't bought the land. I got to deal with financing. I got to deal with taxes and God knows what else. Right? By the time you add it all together, you're upside down and you haven't even thought about buying. You don't even have a survey yet to even know what you have. Okay. So that is what I'm talking about. There are pieces of land in tons of neighborhoods across this country that will never get built, at least not for the foreseeable future, because the values of what's going on there are not there. Now, the same thing could happen in commercial. You might have a piece of commercial, but the income it's going to generate is never going to justify the purchase price. So understand there are buildable pieces of land out there where it doesn't make sense to ever build them. So then the question is, what else can you do with them? And that just depends, right, on what it is, where is it going, da, 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 and on and on. So when you're working with land, two things. What's the best case use? And then determining the value to see if there's something that can be done with this land. Maybe you combine it with another piece of land. Maybe that's how you create value. Maybe you split it up. Maybe that's how you create value. There's so many possibilities, but start with those two questions first and see where it goes, and that will give you a good sense of where to go. I am going to caution you with one thing though, as I leave. A lot of people will use comps for determining land value. And while that might be okay in some scenarios, if you're going to build on it, I will tell you right now, you can absolutely buy a piece of land where the comps for land made sense and you build on it and you are losing money. If that sounds weird, I'm telling you, it happens and it's not hard to find. There is no shortage of pieces of land where, like houses, people can overpay for land. You buy, all of a sudden you build, and you are losing money. It is not as hard to do as you might think. So be mindful of that. So, hope this helps. See you around.